In the heart of the city, where dreams come alive, B-Up's on the mic with that fire in his eyes. From the court to the field, every game, every fight, he's the voice of the struggle under stadium lights. He's seen the highs and the lows, the wins and the pain, every triumph and tear, every loss in the rain. But through it all, he stands tall, never backs down, with a heart full of love for this sports-loving town. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Every story, every glory, every promise we keep. From the love of the game to the struggles we face, he's the voice of the people in the sacred space. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. There's a love in the air for the game and the grind, for the players who hustle, leaving it all behind. Through the sweat and the tears,
Come on in, come on in, come on in. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Party on down with your ump tonight. Let's kick it. All the people in the chat, I know this is a face you look like, where's B at? Where's B? B is doing some family things tonight. He asked me to step in for him, and I proudly said I'll be more than happy. But we do want to say I was supposed to have a special guest who happens to be yours truly, Mr. JR Boxing, but he had an event that he had to go to. So it's family night tonight. The fellas wanted to do some things with the family. I understood, and I said, hey, I think I can step in. I think I can relate to your fan base. I think I can talk to the people for a few minutes. But the difference tonight is this one here. We're not going to be in the church in which we're going to have that additional time. We're going to be in a church in which when we say it's going to be 30 minutes or an hour, it's 30 minutes or an hour, because after that, we turn it off. We turn the lights off. I turn the lights off. It's time to go. We ain't on that other time. But with everybody, I want y'all to put out there on that in the chat land right now, put what state you coming from. You talking to us tonight. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know where you're coming from. I want to know where you're at. I want to know what you're thinking. I'm up here in Upper Marlboro, that Maryland area. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm kicking it at right now. I'm handling my business, doing my thing. B. Watts, this is his show. I'm just stepping in. I'm just a visitor right now. I'm just kicking my feet up, relaxing, enjoying myself, and we getting ready to talk some football in a few minutes. But first and foremost, I want to say thank y'all for stepping in. Thank y'all for just taking time to support B. Watts. But let's start it this way. I'm seeing some people on here. I see Indiana. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. I see a little bit. I don't see. I'm looking for a little bit more here. Omaha, Nebraska. I was in Nebraska. I was at Alford Air Force Base. I had a fantastic time. Great place to be. I tell you what, Miss Smith, it's always a pleasure there, young lady. Oh, look at you. That's what I'm talking about. Coach Dre, he going to be in that. New Jersey in the house. That's what I'm talking about. I like that. I'm going back to them New Jersey days when they had old Kenny Anderson and everything. Let's go even deeper. Michael Ray Richardson. Back in the day, Michael Ray, bucket every time he got the ball. That was old school there. Let's go here. Let's see what, oh, Omaha, you got it. Let's see, oh, Georgia, old school. Georgia, got, and you know we're going to always have Florida in there. We got the Florida boys in there. You're going to always have that. Oh, Oak Park, Illinois, in the house. Miss Smith, we know you're in the house. We know you handling your business as always. It's always a pleasure. I'm missing one person. Now, if she don't show up tonight, my feelings gonna be hurt. Coach Dre, salute to you, sir. Gainesville, Florida. Step up. Gainesville in the house. Always. I'm looking for a young lady. She always there. She missed tonight. My feelings gonna be hurt. Her initials is SJ. If I don't see her tonight, I'm gonna say when B watch. Oh, that's my girl. That's my girl. I see her right now. She spoke to Coach straight in, but that is my girl, Miss Johnson in the house. Always a pleasure, Miss Johnson. Thank you. Charlotte, North Carolina. Woo! The nature boy. Styling and profiling, as always. That's what I'm talking about, Stowe. That's a beautiful area, too. Beautiful, diverse. Love Charlotte. Love Charlotte. But let's get this thing kicked off. We're going to get it kicked off because we're going to have some rules of engagement. I'm former military. I did that thing, in the United States Air Force. I say I was, did my thing, got the shirt, got the check. Now I'm moving on to other things. But let's get this here. The rules of engagement is this here. Listen to me now. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Here are the rules of engagement. What we're going to do tonight, because I thought I was going to have someone else who was going to be, I'm facilitating that person to answer the question. So I'm going to have to wear several hats tonight. This is called hat night. And the hat night means this one here. I'm going to be, this is not me now. This is not This is not me. So when I'm giving feedback, don't jump on me because this ain't what I'm saying. This is what the person in the hat, for an example, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to put a hat on. The first hat I'm going to put on Coach Prime. I'm going to have my Coach Prime hat on. I'm going to be thinking, hey, if I'm Coach Prime, these are things I need to work on. Second thing, I'm going to put Rick George. I'm going to put a Rick George hat on. I'm going to say, this is things I need to work on. Then we're going to put out there, we're going to put on there, if I'm a fan, I'm going to put a hat on for the fans so that we know, hey, boom, this is what I'm talking about. Then you're going to also have it where it's like, hey, I'm going to have it for the chat. I'm going to ask the chat a question. The chat's going to have to say, hey, boom, this is what we're going to do here. And if you look at the screen, it's telling you what I'm going to be asking. And then I'm going to have a hat on for the player. And if I'm a player, this is something that I'm looking at. So with that being said, when I'm making my comments, don't go get excited, baby. Don't get excited. It's not that serious. It's just some dialogue, and we're just going to be going from that. But with anything, I need your participation because without you, it's not possible. And I'm just telling you something right now. You know B. Watts now. He think he's slick now. He think he's slick. He gonna let your boy get out there and see if I'm on probation or if I'm not on probation. Let him know. If I can play good by myself. I think I can. I think I'm an adult. I think I can handle my business. But let's get this here started. Let me go with my first hat. When you're talking about Coach Prime, you got to put on something that's clean and slick. Now, I got my Coach Prime hat on. And the reason I got my Coach Prime hat on, and I'm asking you this question too. This is the question, me being Coach Prime. And you know me, I want to make sure that I get the right question to you. So I have to put my Fred Sanford spectacles on to make sure I'm asking. And the first thing I want to ask is this one here. As me as Coach Prime, how should I establish discipline for this CU team? Okay, me with my Coach Prime hat on. Discipline, first and foremost, with any team or any organization, is the foundation of where you're going and what you're going to accomplish for your organization or your team. If you're not disciplined, it's going to show later on. What I mean by that is this. I watched a football game, and it happened to be the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Washington Commanders. And it was fourth down, and in this game, Washington was down by one point or so, and Pittsburgh had the ball with like 2 minutes to go in the game, and if Washington and it was fourth down, 4th and 1, and if Washington just stay disciplined, they get the ball back and get an opportunity to win the game. Mike Tomlin knew that Washington had some players that always jumped outside. So what they did, they sent my boy Russell up to the line. Russell did a hard count, and the Washington Commanders jumped outside and lost the game. And people like, well, what does that have to do? That's discipline. When you're not disciplined, those things happen. And that's what you don't want to happen when it costs you games. So me as Coach Prime, I went today and I looked up some things and I said, why are all the great coaches sticklers on discipline? Discipline is the little things. I went and did tape of Nick Saban, and I watched Nick Saban. Nick Saban would see something out there on the field. Coach Prime and Nick Saban, same mindset. The difference is this. When Nick Saban sees something that the players are doing wrong, this player had their shirt untucked. The shirt was out. They had a white shirt, it was sticking out. Nick Saban went VR direct to Kirby Smart, and he didn't chew. He went to him and said, why is his shirt out? Where did we do that at? And Kirby Smart looked at him, and what do you think Kirby Smart did? Kirby Smart went VR direct to that player, and it wasn't nice words said to that player. He addressed the issue. The reason I'm saying that is this. Coach Prime should not be the one addressing those players. It should be the coaches who are responsible for those players addressing them. If Coach Prime got to do that, we have a problem. Me as a coach, if I have to address those little things, then my issue is not with the team, it's with my coaches. That's a discipline thing. Because in order to get to that next level and to get those wins, can you imagine, team, out there in chat land, put down how many games you think we would have won if we weren't 16th in penalties. Do you think we would have won? That's huge. If we would have had it down where we were just 5th with penalties. Is what we need to do. You say, I hope, oh, no sound? Okay, give me 1 second. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna come back in. Okay, can you hear me now? You can hear me now. Hey, I apologize. Y'all have to realize I got my daddy hat on too. And when you got your daddy hat on, I got a 6-year-old who think he's cute, and he's up in there. He's calling me on my doggone phone here, and that knocks me off when it pertains to that. So I apologize. But me being a dad, hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna have to address that and say, hey, son, you can't call me just playing. We doing grown folk stuff right now. So I apologize. That's on me. But that's what happens when you got 6 and 8 years old in the house and they think they funny. You know, that he funny. But let's get back to it. When we're saying discipline is this one here. Me as Coach Prime, I'm taking this discipline to my coaches. I'm going to the coaches and I'm saying the little things are going to be what takes us to the next level. We cannot be 16th out of 16 teams in penalties and think we're going to be champions. It does not work like that. It's hard for any team to win if they're last in penalties in their division. That makes no sense. So what I'm doing is this one here. If we got smart players, it should be simple. But with that being said, I'm putting it on the coaches and the players. And what you have is this one here. And this is where us as fans need to be understanding. You be like, well, why this person isn't playing? If this person continuously jumps off sides in the game, they shouldn't be playing because that's going to hurt you when coaches see that your tendencies are, I can do hard counts and this is going to get us a first down. So with that being said, if I'm Coach Prime, I'm looking at my coaches. I'm looking at myself always first. But Coach Prime got that hat on tonight. I'm going to my coaches because I'm looking to see each position team. If I'm having issues on that offensive line coach is going to hear. That offensive line coach going to be in my office explaining what's going on. And if it continues to happen, I will be listening to some resumes in which I need to get somebody in here who they're going to listen to. Because at the end of the day, it needs to be solved. This is year 3 for me as Coach Prime, and we will not be last in penalties. Let's say again, this is year 3 for me at CU. We will not be last in penalties. So that discipline is huge. And I'm putting that emphasis on the coaches and myself. We do it as a team and the players. The players are responsible for it also because the players need to understand we're only going as far as what we're doing. What we're doing is this here. I need to ensure that this matters and that you're putting the right players on the field. What you mean by right players? You're putting players on there that want to win and are going to do the little things to win. I love this feedback. Go ahead, Coach Dre. When you were saying Coach Swayze, how he had the attention to detail and on how he's focusing on things. We need to see the results. Go ahead, Ms. Smith. I like what you're saying there. When you're saying, hey, about those penalties, they got to stop. You're absolutely right. And Coach Prime understands that, and he's putting the emphasis on that. And me as Coach Prime, my emphasis is going to be on, hey, as this team, you are going to see more people going back home than you seen last year. Because if it takes a Jimmy Johnson moment where somebody falls asleep and that person gets cut from the team, then that's what you're going to have to do because you're going to have to get the attention of young people where they realize that could be me. And it's my job to make sure I'm not letting my teammates down. So that's the first thing that we have talked about, discipline. I thank y'all for sitting on here. I'm reading this stuff about discipline, and I'm like, wow, they get it. Discipline, determination. That's what I'm talking about. It makes a difference. And just imagine again, you won 9 games. What would have happened if we were a more disciplined team, more focused team? The sky's the limit. That's my Coach Prime hat. And that's how discipline, and that's what thank you, Ms. Fidel. Accountability. Accountability is what it's all about. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Consistency. I'm dealing with 8 students right here. I'm dealing with focus. Go ahead, Ms. Johnson. You are kicking it. And what happens is this here, Ms. Johnson, with your focus is this one here. Focus, accountability, and consistency, like Ms. Smith. You 3, that's a home run. And it's a home run because of this one here. It lets us know that it's not about you, it's about the team. When you have those three put together, it lets us know it's not about me as an individual, it's about the team. And that's awesome. Coach Dre, you always cooking, and I truly appreciate it. But that's where discipline comes in part, and me as a coach and you out there in podcast land, you get it. You get it. And that's the beauty right there. Thank you for getting that. Let's go to the second one. This is what I like. The second one here. The second one here, I'm putting on this here because we talking about money now. Hey, we talk about some money now. Hey, I'm Rick George right now, and he's Santa Claus. He's Santa Claus. People out there in podcast land, I'm Rick George, and I want you to give me some feedback. Do we pay Coach Prime now, or do we pay Coach Prime later? Put it down there, now and later. When I was a young boy, I loved me some now and laters. I would go in there, they sold them for 10 cents. And I'd go there, then they went up to 15 cents. Then they went up to 25. But with that being said, I love me some now. Look at this here. Oh, pay him now, pay him now, pay him now. What? He better. This is what I'm talking about. He better pay him now. But me as Rick George and me looking, this is my Rick George hat. I'm going to do both. I'm going to do the pros and cons. The pros, let's go with the pros right now. I got to pay that man. I got to pay that man his value from my organization, from my university, the University of Colorado. I need to pay Coach Prime. I need to pay his assistants, and I need to keep them happy. Because what I see going on right now with my university, I see money coming in. I see notoriety coming in. I see the attention coming in. He should have been paid 3 weeks ago. And me with my Rick George hat on, I'm gonna give you an example. The Buffalo Bills. You never see a quarterback with 4 years on his contract and you turn around and give him a $330 million contract extension. But the brilliance of that is this. If you know you got your man or you got your woman, you pay them now because it's cheaper to keep them. What I say is cheaper to keep them. What do you mean by that, Mr. George? I mean this one here. Today's prices is not going to be tomorrow's prices. It only goes up. And if you think like the Dallas Cowboys, just look at the Dallas Cowboys. They could have gotten Dak. They could have been paying Dak 25, 30. They could have been paying Dak $25 million a year, $25, $30 million a year. But not Jerry. Not Jerry. You paid Tony Romo, but you didn't want to pay Dak. And look what Dak did to you. Dak got to paying him almost $60 million now. You're paying him double. And you're paying him double because you didn't pay him now. Same thing with Michael. If you would have paid that young man his second year, you would have came out a whole lot cheaper. Even CD, you would have came out a whole lot cheaper, but you didn't. But it's always cheaper to keep them because you know what it costs when you got them. But when I get that new thing might like that Lewis. He might like them red bottoms. It's all kind of new things there. But me as Rick George, I'm paying that man. That man has proved that he's a value to the University of Colorado. That man has proved that he exudes what Colorado stands for: winning, excellence, and doing it the right way. And he also putting people in seats, and he bringing dollars to that bank account. When you're doing those things, I don't know what me as Rick George, I don't even need to talk to all of the other people saying, hey, convince them. I'm going to let them know we paying him. This is what we're paying him. I don't know how we're going to get this money, but this is what we're going to do. And we're going to keep it moving. And we're going to keep it moving because Coach Prime has proven at Jackson State, at Trinity, wherever he's been, money comes to him. His nature attracts money. The fear lack has been broken and has no power over him. Y'all better ask somebody. That man does it. That man does it. And as Rick George, if you don't pay him now, the cost is only going up. And the next thing is this one here. Can you really lose him? Can CU go out there and think that they can lose Coach Prime and it's going to be all right? It don't work that way. When Coach Prime leaves, the horses leave. That means that all those horses that came to Colorado, they came for a reason. They came because they believe in the coach. Go ahead, Rev. Rev, I saw you preach now. I saw you preach when they showed it on old Dukes the Scoop and Big Dog Chico. I like your sermon, sir. You did a fantastic job and you look good there, Rev. Keep it up. I tell you what, people, and Rev, I'll throw this at you, and I'm going to get back to what I was saying. People in the church get so serious at times, and they be like, oh, we're going to be holier than thou. Jesus talked to all people. You got to meet people where they're at. And once you meet people where they're at, then you can get the word into them and let them grow. So, Rev, I salute you. You keep doing your thing. You're innovative. You ain't sticking to that. We did it this way for 50 years. And no, you got to meet people where they at. If they come into the church with a hat on, that's fine. When we finish with them, it's training like anything else, and we go from there. We take people where they're at. So I salute you, Rev. And people, I apologize if I went that way, but I'm always, for these people out here on podcast land, I'm going to show you love, respect, and honor because you deserve it. But let me get back to Rick George. Pay that man now or pay much more later, or take the shot of losing him. And I don't think you can lose a Coach Prime and think that you're going to get something better. It just don't come. Because if that was the case, you would have had somebody, you wouldn't have been 1-11. Look where you're at now. Make the smart decision. Pay that man. It ain't no other choice with it, and leave it as that. Let's move to the next one. Let me get me another hat on, because this other hat, old Fred say, the other hat is going to be this one here. I'm going to put me, hey, how you doing? I'm going to put my next hat on. My next hat is this one here. I'm Corey Phillips. And I'm Corey Phillips. People out there in the chat, do me a favor. I'm Corey Phillips. This is what I want you to do. Answer this. What positions would you be looking for in the portal to fill for the Colorado Buffaloes? Now, I'm Corey Phillips. I got my hat on. Let's go, people out there in the chat. Tell me what you would be looking for in the portal. I'm seeing some stuff. What would we be looking for in the portal right now to make our team better? I'm going to start us off. First thing I'm looking for in the portal, I'm going to start with a right tackle. That's the first thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for me a right tackle. I'm looking for a right tackle to ensure a right, thank you, offensive line. Oh, more trench play. Hey, Miss Barber, you done nailed it. You done nailed it, Miss Barber. That right tackle, I'm looking for the, let me say again, right tackle is what I'm looking for. I want that offensive line fixed, and I want it fixed yesterday. So when I hit that portal, I'm hitting that portal hard on the offensive line. You can, because I'll give you an example. I truly thought Tyler Johnson was going to get in there last year and was going to go in there and handle his business and start. It doesn't always end up the way that we think it is, and that's fine. So now I'm going, there you go, ladies. See, that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Miss Debbie. Go ahead. I like Miss Debbie slipping there. She's going to let you know. O-line. I'm definitely hitting the O-line. And the reason I'm hitting the offensive line is because of this one here. If we can get that offensive line the way it should be, it lets us know that we're going to be in the discussion for that Big 12 championship. And it's all about winning. Everything is about winning. And if you're going to win in this league, you need an offensive line. So for me, I'm getting a right tackle, and I'm also looking for me a guard. I'm looking for me a guard. I'm looking for me a guard. I'm looking for me a guard. That means that if I got to pay a little extra, I'm going to pay a little extra. But I need that tackle and guard. And I'm not saying the people we do have right now is not sufficient. What I'm saying is this here. Miss Crystal, I love what you're talking about. This is where I'm going with it, Miss Crystal. I'm fine with the first unit. What people have to realize this one here. Ohio State won the national championship. But do you know Ohio State lost 4 of its offensive linemen? 4 on their offensive line. They lost. You have to have people in that depth chart that's able to step up if somebody get injured or not playing at a high level and be able to come in and handle their business. Go ahead, Miss Debbie Garcia. Handle your business. That's what I'm talking about. I need some big ones. I need some big cornbread eating rascals getting there and tearing it up. With that being said, is this one here. We need to have it because what I don't want is this here. It's not about, we got the first unit. The first unit is not what's going to win it for you. It's a long season. You got 12 games. You're going to have your championship, and then you're going to have the playoffs. You could be playing 17 to 18 games. If that's the case, that means that your backups are going to be playing. And your backups are going to have to fill in when they get those little nicks and stuff like that when you go through the season. So for me, I need that front line taken care of. The next position I'm going to get is this one here. It has to be linebacker. The reason I say linebacker is because of this one here. I need to ensure, let's say again, I need to ensure that when the other team is doing those little gadget plays and hitches and stuff like that, we have some linebackers that can make the medical tent go up. Because what we're not going to do this year is this one here. We're not going to have a team run the football and we got 15 or 16 missed tackles. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Back in the old days, when Ray Lewis hit you, you were hit. And that's what we need. When our linebackers hit somebody, they are hit and we go from there. Let's go here with the linebackers. How many linebackers would you get, Corey, Mr. Phillips? I'm getting 2. Hear what I'm saying. I'm getting 2. And the reason I'm getting 2 is because of this one here. I want pressure on each player on this team. Me as a general manager, nobody is comfortable. The only person comfortable is Pepper. That's that person sitting beside B. Watts right now while he's celebrating with his family. Now, Pepper comfortable because she knows she ain't going nowhere. B. Watts ain't going nowhere. She good and comfortable, and she should be because she's a wonderful lady. And when you're a wonderful lady and she does right by B. Watts, she can be comfortable. Now, everybody else, you gonna be uncomfortable because if you don't perform, taller tap. In the military, we got formation. And in formation, we put our hands out and we say taller tap. That means the taller person get to the front, smaller person get to the back. For me, taller tap as the general manager, when you ain't performing, you getting tapped, you going to the back, I'm moving to the front, we're going to keep it from that. After that, next position I'll get is this one here. I got to go D-line. I can never have enough defensive tackles. I can never have enough defensive tackles. I'm not worried about the defensive end, the edges. The edges are fine because I got the young men following suit there, and I need them to play. So they're going to be fantastic. So with Corey Phillips, Those are the things that Corey Phillips, me as Corey Phillips, that I would be looking for. And I would let everybody know, from quarterback to running back to any other position. And the running backs would be on notice. If you don't perform during the summer, I'm getting the first thing smoking in that portal. I'm getting the hottest running back on the market to show you that you're on the clock. And when you're on the clock, I'm not waiting for you. Either you're ready or you're not ready. That's what we're going to say about that. Now, with that being said, I have been in the portal. I got those players, and now the competition has started. Now, I'm going to the next one. This one here, oh, you might not like this one here. So I got to put code red, code red, code red. You might not like this one here. Let's go with this one here. I'm a fan now. I'm a fan. I got red on. I got red on. I got red on. And as a fan, people out there in podcast land, I need you to do this one here for me. Let me know. As I'm talking as a fan right now. So don't go say this is what I believe. I'm a fan right now. What position coach is in the hot seat? Put it down in the chat. What position coach is on the hot seat starting this year? I'm going to take a sip, and I want to see what y'all put out there in the chat. B. Watts, I'm glad. That's why I'm the fan tonight. You put none, but that ain't what the fan gonna say. So let me see what I think. Miss Richards say no comment. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, boy, we get quiet real quick. Now I'm speaking of a fan. As a fan. This is as a fan. This ain't me. I just have to wear a hat now. So let's go. Let me get another sip, because it might not be. Okay. This is what I'm going to say. The first person I would say, if I'm a fan, me being the fan, the first person I'm going to go with on the hot seat, it's got to be my offensive coordinator. My offensive coordinator this year, you're on the hot seat. And people like, well, why would you put the offensive coordinator? And this is why me as a fan that I would say I'm putting my offensive coordinator. Oh, wow, that's going to be next. Thank you, Miss Crawley. That's going to be next. I'm going to say offensive coordinator. This is why. When Coach Prime was at Jackson State, he changed offensive coordinators like some people change shoes, like Ric Flair changed his gaiters. Even when they were undefeated, he made changes. He was always getting better. The reason I'm saying that the offensive coordinator is going to be on the hot seat is this reason. The offensive coordinator did a fine job. When you're 9-4, I'm not kidding up here as a fan, and I'm not critiquing that offensive coordinator saying that that person didn't do their job. Schumer did a fantastic job of what he was instructed to do. He did a fantastic job. I'm saying he's on the hot seat because of what Ms. Johnson is saying right now. We need effective play calling and schemes. Me as a fan, if I don't see that, Houston, let's say again, Houston, we have a problem. Miss Johnson, I like what you cooking. It's like them neck bones and them neck bones on that stove cooking. Go ahead, young lady. You cooking right now. Because for us to sit here as fans and for us to think like, no, I don't want to say nothing, blah, blah. We can be constructive. And what Miss Johnson is saying right there, it's not nasty. It's not being ugly. It's constructive, and it's concise, and it's accurate, and it's truthful. When it's those things, it's good to go. Look what OC. If he doesn't scheme with these guys, I will personally start a petition for people. Go ahead, Miss Foster. All I'm saying is this one here. Let's go this as a fan. What my coach told me as a fan, I'm a fan now. Coach Prime told me he had the best coaches in college football. He said he has the coaches with the most NFL experience in college football. Now, if you're telling me as a fan that that is what you have, then when I see your schemes and your play calling and your let's add this one too, Coach Prime, adjustments. Now that defensive coordinator makes adjustments. On the offensive side, I don't want to wait to the second half to make adjustments. Your adjustments should be made after the first series. After that first series, you should be looking on there with 20-something years, almost 30 years of football experience. You should be able to adjust like that, especially with the talent that you have. I understand the first year. With the first year, man, Shedeur got the ball sometimes and was hit. So I'm not saying nothing about the first year. That's a pass. This year, though, your scheme, your play calling, and adjustments, you're on the hot seat. Anybody else can say whatever they want to. Me as the fan, and I got the hat on. See this? I got the hat on. The offensive coordinator on the hot seat. We need you to show us what Coach Prime said you are. And that is an experienced offensive coordinator that can get the job done. We need to see these. We need to see schemes. And then this is the crazy part. Me as a fan, I watched that UCF game, and that UCF game, I truly think that was one of his best coach games that the offensive coordinator did when he played. He went out there and he switched some stuff up. UCF didn't see some of those plays. You can tell they didn't. They weren't ready. They were not ready for those plays. And that's what we need to see. My husband just said, thank you, Miss Smith. Now, me and your husband, we just fans. We just fans. Go ahead, Miss Smith. And that's the truth. It's nothing personal. And it's nothing personal with the offensive coordinator. It's just one of those things. We have to see those adjustments. Let me get off of that. But one thing I can say about Pat Shermer is this one here. It truly looks like those quarterbacks really get along well with Coach, and that's a good thing. But Coach, I do not want to see, as a fan, hear me what I'm saying. Coach Shermer, I do not want to see Salt over there with receivers calling his own plays. Don't want to see it. What I want to see is you with that board with Salt looking and Juju looking with those receivers, and you're the only one talking, and you're giving them feedback of what's getting ready to go on. That's what I want to see as a fan. Anything other than that, Houston, we got a problem, and the clock is ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock. And for me, I'm gonna get this here, and I'm gonna have to make the adjustment I need to make. So that's the first person. People out there in podcast land, give me the second position that you think is going to be on the hot seat. Let me see. What's the second one? Let's see what we have. I had somebody say special teams. Special teams is on the hot seat because it shouldn't have taken this long to say that this is going to be a priority. So it is on the hot seat. We need, as fans, we need coaches to understand that every aspect of the game is important. And we want people in seats to ensure. Way to go, Patrick. That's what I'm talking about. Special teams is huge. And we want to ensure that that has a priority when it comes to the Colorado Buffaloes. But can you imagine this? They have proven a team that scores on special teams wins the football game like 70% of the time. Like 70% of the time. You score on special teams, that's like 70% of the time you win. So if that's the case, it's a high percentage. So if that's the case, we should be putting emphasis in special teams because that's extra. That's what we call extra. That's putting a little extra on something. So we need to ensure that we got focus on that. And if we don't, we need to put somebody in there who can handle it. Okay. Who else do y'all say? So those are the only two that y'all saying are on the hot seat? Are those the only two positions? Now, podcast land, are those the only two positions that you say are on the hot seat? It looks like those the special team for sure. Complimentary. Okay, we got people cooking here. Okay, I'll leave it as those two positions. Running backs. Wow, a chance to showcase their talents. Okay, my place. Uncle Steve is doing good. Go ahead, B.Y. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Now, someone said running back. I like that, but running back can't be on the clock right now. Running back on the clock, I can see offensive line is on the clock because they are what's going to be the emphasis. They're going to be the reason the running backs are successful or not. Now, somebody put linebackers on there. Now, I'm going to put it to you this way. Coach Hart recruiting. And something I will say is this one here. I don't know if Coach Prime has added another coach and Shilo is going to be assisting Coach Hart or who's going to use. I'm surprised he's not using the guy who was with the Ravens who came over and they brought to the team last year. I'm surprised because he's a linebacker. He was a linebacker for the Ravens. I'm surprised to not use him. He was a linebacker and special teams. I forgot his name, but I'm surprised they're not using him to help assist Coach Hart. And the reason I say that is because of this one here. You're going to need more than one person in that linebacker room. He is going to need you're going to need 2 or 3 people in there, and that's to help the young players and then the ones that you plan on starting because you need somebody in there assisting those young players to get them developed so that they can step up when they need to step up and be able to play. So the head man, Coach Hart, ain't going to be able to do all 3. He ain't going to be able to just get the ones ready to start and then turn around and develop the young linebackers. He's not going to have enough time. He needs some more linebackers, and I don't know who's in there, so I can't speak and say, hey, he needs. I'm just saying I would hope that it's more. Miss Phyllis, I'm with you. The running backs coach is not on the hot seat. Not close to me. Because with that being said, he's just coming in. The offensive line now might be a little different, but not the running backs coach. Because the offensive line person was there this is his 3rd year being there. He wasn't the head person, but he was still there for the 3 years. So we need to see vast improvements. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to get off and Adele is talking. Thank you, ma'am. Now, Thomas, I would hope that he's with Coach Hart. Thank you so much on that one. I would hope that he's with Coach Hart, assisting him in that linebacker room. That would be great. Let's see, said the coaches meeting, if the players aren't succeeding, then it's a reflection of you. Woo! So Falk has to teach those players. It is a reflection. And when my kids act up and don't do what they're supposed to do, who is that a reflection on? It's me. I take 100% of responsibility. And I can guarantee you the difference between me and some other parent is this. I believe in the James Evans discipline. Now, I believe in timeout too, but James Evans had something special he would do when you didn't listen when you supposed to. And my kids will tell you, when daddy tell you James Evans coming out, they understand they're going to pack up and they're going to get to acting the way they should act. But we'll go from there. Let's get to this one here. We're going to have another hat that's coming on. And this hat here is for you in the chat. You in the chat. I got a hat for y'all. Because we warriors. We warriors. Now, people in the chat, I got a question for you. Please put down 2 of your favorite CU players. I want you to put down 2 of your favorite CU players in the chat. I want you to put 2 down for your favorite players this year. It's for this year's team. 2 of your favorite players. We don't want to go with Travis and shit. They're gone. This year, name 2 of your favorite CU players. And let's see what y'all say. Because I know you have favorites out there. I understand you say you won't know until you got the spring portal. I'm just going right now. It's going to change. It's going for this year. It's for this year. It's going to change. But I just want you to say to people, that's what I'm talking about. Old Mill and Salt. Patrick, Patrick, you cooking. You cooking, Patrick, because the Seton Express and Draylon, they are showing me their maturity is amongst you. Now, Miss Debbie, I'm 1,000% when it comes to old Stoudemire. That B Watch want to shake and all that other stuff, but when it comes, that's what I'm talking about. Smart, your last name is indicative of you. You got some wonderful character people right there. Oh, Miss Kimberly. Oh, Miss Kimberly saying, look at this here. Miss Shirley. Oh, Caesar. Oh, Juju. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is what I'm talking about. And V said Miller, Webster, and Seton. It is, go ahead, Miss Doc. And Micah. Let me go with I'm just going to say me. When I'm in the chat, my favorite is this one here. The Seton Express, second to none. The Seton Express is always, to me, going to be my number one as far as a fan favorite. And the reason I say the Seton Express, he had all of this. The Seton Express reminds me a little bit of LeBron James, the chosen one. Everybody had these high expectations to myself. Oh, man, he's the next one. He's the next big thing. And all he did was prove that he is the next big thing. He handled his business. And I got nothing but respect for that young man. Because you got to realize, it was other people who were told they 5 stars, and now they seeing stars. So I don't just go off 5 stars. He puts work in. And people, do you see how he stepped up now and are leading the Colorado Buffaloes? Everything goes through the Seton Express. And I'll just put that. But my second one might surprise y'all. My second player that I'm talking about, that I'm all in on, is old Carter Stoudemire. I'm telling you, the genetic freak, Carter Stoudemire is that man. Y'all might not see it. I see it. When I see Carter Stoudemire, I see some people in the NFL drooling for Carter Stoudemire. He has it all. They could put Carter Stoudemire in, as a defensive coordinator. Carter Stoudemire would be a nightmare for a defensive coach. And the reason I say that is because of this one here. If I have an injury at cornerback, I can put Stoudemire in there a little bit to help my team out. If I'm having something in the box when it comes to free safety, I can put Stoudemire there for that. If I have it where, if you really wanted to do it and ease him in there linebacker, don't put him a lot. Just put him there so that it's pass plays, so that he's able to cover that tight end that if you had playing Kansas City Chiefs, you could put him on the tight end, Kelsey. He's one of them guys that he is going to create issues for offenses because he's a Swiss Army knife. He can do so many different things. And because of that, that is the person. Those are my 2 favorites. And I like the real reason I like Stoudemire is this one here. First season, Carter Stoudemire was out there on the field. He missed a play, and when he missed the play, Coach Prime lit into him. When Coach Prime lit into him, Carter was having his moment. Carter went and said something to Coach Prime when he was going to the bench. Did I like what he said to Coach Prime? Absolutely not. But this is what I loved about Carter Stoudemire. He realized that he was wrong. He stood up. He accepted responsibility. He came back the following weeks. Even though he was sat down on the bench, he didn't go and say, man, I'm leaving. This is a bunch of crock. He didn't have a pity party. He stood up like a man and said, hey, I was wrong. I accept responsibility, and I'm going to do what I need to do to make it right. Man, that's a dude after my own heart. And when you got that kind of integrity and you have that kind of self-worth about yourself, I'm not going to be nothing but a fan. So cheers to those two. Go ahead, Miss Barbara. Free Barnes. But I ain't going to go do all of that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of those guys that say this one here. When I say it's 1 hour, hear me what I say. It's going to be 1 hour. It's 8:57, and I'm one of those people who say, when we say we're going to do our hour, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our hour. We're going to rock and roll. We're going to somersault. But when it's time to go, it's time to go. And that's what I tell. When I turn them lights off, it's time to go. And I'm going to turn these lights off. But when I get upstairs with my queen, I get to turn them on. And we're gonna talk, we're going to do like a little Jodeci. We're going to talk a little bit. And that's what it's all about. I thank y'all. And I thank B. Watts for giving me the opportunity to stand in for him. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be able to step in and speak with you wonderful, wonderful Colorado fans. Tonight, I hope that y'all don't take things the comments that were said tonight and say, hey, Unc was telling about this and he was next. No, I'm wearing hats tonight. That's the thing. You wearing hats, and with wearing hats, this is what those individuals should be looking at with those hats on. So, with that being said, I will say this one here. This is what I'll say on how important you guys are, and men and women are. People think, and they go in there and they say, Stephen A. Smith, he made $100 million, blah, blah, blah. Let me explain something to y'all. If it wasn't for you and people like you who support the Stephen A. Smiths, the Shannon Sharps, the all the other podcasts, they would not be able and wouldn't have the influence to make the money that they're making. So I don't take it for granted. I'm not making a penny. It don't do nothing for me. I'm not making a penny on this. I just enjoy spending time with you. But what I'll say is this one here. Don't never discount how valuable you are. You are very valuable. It's no them without you. And I don't take it for granted. I'm here tonight and I'm stepping in for B. Watts. But B. Watts, you done got your free labor for one night and one night only. I'm a Tuesdays man when it comes to the podcast. On Saturday night is another type of man. With all of that being said, I thank you. I salute you. And I thank you for just spending time and supporting the Sports Talk with B. Watts. I salute and I say good night to you. It has been a pleasure. B.
voice under the bright lights. In the silence of the night, when the crowd fades away, he's the echo of hope at the end of the day. With a heart full of dreams and a voice full of soul, he's the heartbeat of sports, making us whole. Sports talk with Buffs, where the passion runs deep. Every story, every glory, every promise we keep. From the love of the game to the struggles we face, he's the voice of the people in this sacred space. Sports talk with Buffs, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk with B-Wap, where the passion runs deep. Oh, sports talk with B-Waps, where the passion runs deep.